Mr. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Here.
Here.
Here. First item is number 2, to adopt or,
Number,
I'm sorry, open meeting law. Pursuant to the open meeting law, any person may make an audio or video recording this public hearing or meeting, or may transmit the meeting through any medium. Attendees are therefore advised that such recordings or transmissions are being made, whether perceived or unperceived, by those present and are deemed acknowledged and permissible. Now, please call the roll.
we did. We
Okay,
did call the roll.
okay, thank you. A little off today.
Okay.
So item number 2, the minutes, please.
Number 1,
They gotta do this.
input, citizen input.
We have one, okay. Alexander Sylvia is the only individual to sign up, 148 Purchase Street, Fall River. The issue is the Armory, Sylvia School, and PNS agreements. Thank you, Ms. Sylvia.
Hello. Alexander Silva, 148 Purchase Street. Happy to see the Real Estate Committee meeting. I would just ask that the committee consider a possible future agenda item to discuss any future sales of the Bank Street Armory. I don't think that the committee discussed it at all in the recent effort to dispose of the property, and I think that the Real Estate Committee could be a very valuable forum to solicit community input, kind of try to maybe figure out what we're going to do with the future of that building. I think this committee is actually situated for that. Secondly, the Sylvia School. I think some people may have saw a recent Herald News article saying that the city was going to be taking possession of the Sylvia School, former Sylvia School on Hartwell Street again. And so I would also ask the committee consider a future agenda item to discuss the Sylvia School and what the city plans on doing with that future disposition, maybe getting ahead of the ball on that one. And then also just remind the community and the committee that that school is actually only returning to the city's hands as a result of efforts of the Preservation Society of Fall River investigating the purchase and sale agreement. As a result of that, it was discovered that conditions of sale were attached to the property, and the reverter clause that was used to bring the property back to the city's hands, as well as the Lincoln School for that sale. That was what got the city some money for that. I just think that it would be a good time to maybe establish a process for the committee to maybe once a year review purchase and sale agreements that are outstanding in the city to verify conditions of sale have been met. The Healy School playground is also on the agenda for tonight, and that, through the efforts of the Preservation Society, it was discovered that the purchase and sale agreement for the Healy School is missing, actually. We don't have it at the city. So just to show the importance of that process and what it could do for the city. Thank you.
Thank you. If you could say it for a second. So there is a resolution that was filed with regards to inventory of city-owned property. So tonight's meeting basically was to just deal with the issues we have before us that have been on the committee for some time. So it's truly the intent of the chairman and the members here to visit that. Because particularly the Armory, as you know, went to Committee on Finance, so it's in abeyance right now. And we are taking up an issue with regard to the Armory staying within a jurisdiction of just the Park Department or a joint ownership, or not ownership, but auspices over that building. So we're aware of it, but thank you, Ms. Alexander, as usual, for your everything you contribute to the community. We appreciate it.
Thank you. I just hope the urgency is a little bit more than the committee meeting for the first time in June. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, so now it's item number 2, the minutes,
Motion to
October 25th,
adopt the minutes.
2022.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so voted. Number 3, communication, mayor requesting discussion of future use of Hick Street Top Lot, formerly the Healy School.
Motion to lift from the table.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
So voted. Mr. Akins, is he here?
You go.
I'm done. Important to have him down here. Okay, so, Mr. Akins, we're on item number 3.
Yes, sir.
The Hicks Street tot lot.
Seth Aiken, City Administrator.
You can begin.
So from what I understand, what we have is a piece of property that at this point is, it's zone 2 family, does meet the requirements for a duplex. There are certainly opinions as to what the value of the property is. Currently, it's adjacent to some new construction that's gone up in the last year. And I think the city would certainly be interested in selling that property if the real estate committee is also amenable. At this point, right now, I think it just has some broken down playground equipment, and that's about it on it. But the city at this point is very open to conveying that property if there's an interest in a buyer for fair market value.
Council Pereira?
Thank you. Didn't the city already clean out the tot lot because some of the equipment that was there was, hazardous to kids?
Yep, some of that, so some of that equipment was not only dangerous because of condition, but I believe that some of the weeds and grass that was growing up around that was considered potential harborage for rodents, so there was some cleaning that was done in them.
And some of the equipment was removed?
Yep.
I remember the gentleman that owns, oh my God, I can't think of his name, Wholesome Bakery.
Yes. Oh, well, that's weird. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Can't think of his name. Anyway, he wanted to clean that up and put a tot lot there. I don't know if it was in memory of someone or wanted to do something. So perhaps he'll want to buy it or somebody else will buy it. I don't know how much room there is between that and other things that are there. It's not a really big parcel of property.
It's not, so the zoning would only really tolerate, possibly a multifamily, nothing more, no more structures than that, one larger multifamily structure.
And
I yield.
is there any interest in creating a playground out of that area?
I think the city would prefer to convey it at this point. Obviously, there's, playgrounds are great, but also playgrounds come with maintenance and other things, and I think at this point, the city's interest is in conveying the property so somebody can develop it.
Okay. Council Kadim? Anything to add?
No, I'd make a motion to make a recommendation for the sale of the property, that we go through an RFP process.
Yeah, you read my mind. So, motion's been made and seconded to authorize the purchasing department to prepare RFPs for this committee's referral, examination, and approval of the same. So, I will.
So
What's
moved.
the motion? Go ahead, I'm sorry. Is
So
that,
moved,
that?
yep.
Okay. Motion has been made, seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
So voted.
Thank you.
Yeah, you might have to stay, Ms. Akins. Okay. Item number 3. Communication, mayor requesting discussion of future I'm sorry, that's cheap as grapes. My glasses here, right? I still have them on. Item number 4, city resident requesting to purchase a parcel of city-owned land. It's held for discussion. So that does not have to be lifted from the table, or you can just see here. No, it does not.
First time.
Okay, so I know we had the individuals who were interested. Would you like to come down, please? If you identify yourself for the record, your name and address, please.
Jennifer Ruggiero, 123 Greenleaf Street, Fall River.
Denise Arujo, 123 Greenleaf Street in Fall River.
Okay. Could you state your interest and you know, obviously why you're here? You want to purchase the property?
Yes. There is an easement that is next to our property and that we'd like to purchase, and we're also okay with purchasing we got some pictures here that we took of it. The easement goes from like, so we have our property, and then it also attaches. There's another little easement behind it, and we'd be okay with purchasing that too. Our basic reason for doing this is just that we want to be able to maintain, because it's not cared for by the city, so we've been maintaining it to beautify it, keep it mowed, keep things cut back, keep it looking nice. This easement is only used sometimes by neighbors to walk through. We're not looking to stop that at all. There's a big boulder at one end of the easement, so this easement is never used for access to get to the lake. And we're of course not interested in purchasing that because where everybody goes to the easement to go to the lake. But we would just like to purchase that
Just
because.
trying to, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, go
Trying to
ahead.
familiar myself with the property. So this is all the way down to the end of Stafford Road.
Yeah, it does go all the way
And then it crosses
far.
over into Tiverton, then goes back into Fall River.
Yeah, yeah.
And,
If we have
That's
to,
our property.
and then, it's,
Are you
it's,
talking about this
From the
here?
stone.
Yep,
wall,
from the stone.
20 feet in.
Yep.
Yes.
Is your property?
That's the
is
easement
the
that we're
easement.
looking to purchase.
yeah,
The stone wall, 20 feet. Yeah.
okay.
Who'd you get the easement from? The
Hold on,
city?
Ms. Burke?
Oh,
Anybody
sorry.
have? Okay.
I was looking at the,
yeah. You can see this one. That's from like, from the boulder all the way down through our property, and you might be able to see the,
Okay. Council Per.
okay. Who gave you the easement? Who's the easement on your deed? Is the easement from the city?
it's
City owned.
it's city owned.
So the easement is from the city of Fall River?
Yeah, it abuts our property.
Okay. But that property isn't mowed, isn't taken care of?
Not
By
unless,
us.
not unless we do it. Well, like even going from the, we're kind of like where people drive the boat to get to the river, like we take care of that. Like we just did it this weekend. We'll mow it, keep down the weeds or anything like that.
And when people come to put the boats in, it's not that land?
No,
It's
no,
down
no, there's a
further.
street, no,
It's
there's a street
on
in
the
front of
side.
us.
Right,
and
the
they-
street here,
Yep,
going down, okay.
Yeah, actually, this picture shows from our yard, you can actually see across the street the right-of-way that actually goes to South Watuppa Pond.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I'd make a motion that we refer this to the administration just to do some, I guess, research on the parcel itself and give us a recommendation as to whether or not they want to move forward with the sale of the property, or if there's a reason for us to maintain the property.
yeah.
Well, to that point, I believe we did receive a letter from Mr. Furlan. Oh, it's in the, I'm sorry. Let's see here. Mr. Furlan, who represents the city and who is the expert on this issue. I'll read it for the record. Lauren, after review of this lot, I could not find any definitive results that said it was owned by the water or sewer departments. With that being said, in the future, this parcel could play a part helping to improve the water quality of the South Watuppa Pond, as this parcel has a stream that runs through it and empties into the South Watuppa Pond. Looking at a quick assessment of the watershed and its stream includes a large wetland that appears to go all the way back to Hancock Street. It's a long way. And take a lot of drainage from the area from Stafford Road down to the wetland. So I can go on and read the rest. The last sentence is, I would recommend that the city retain this property for the future use described above, as well as the current value in relation to the drainage. So it seems to me that the city wants to keep the property.
Okay. But could we just get that one little part? Because like, no water runs through there. We don't have any water rushing through that end. It comes down the road into the water, but there's nothing, like, there's no water on our property at all, other than what's in my well. There's no water that runs through there. It does back. Like, I don't want to purchase the whole, the thing. I just want, yeah, I would just like to get what's right next to my house.
Well, I'll take input for from the rest of the committee, but my position is that I did speak to Mr. Furlan. It's a piece of property that the city wants to retain. It's been an issue for some time with regard to the What's Up a Pond and algae and different things. And I don't think the city, if they don't want to sell all of it, they're not going to, this is my opinion.
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
This
yeah.
is my opinion. They're not going to want to sell a piece of it. Plus, it has to go out for request for proposals on any land that's owned by the city that's sold, so someone else might buy it. Maybe the rowing center that's, is, down near Route 24. They may want the property, so just be aware that sometimes what you ask for, you're not going to get.
Okay.
So with that, I intend on not voting for this because the conversations I had, no offense to you guys, you ladies, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I use
so-
that term too.
Mr. Kadim? Counsel Kadim?
No, I
Counselor.
was just, again, I was just gonna make a motion to refer to the administration. I know, I guess Paul had a conversation, I'm not sure if the administration had discussion with regards to this parcel, done any research.
Thank you, Counselor. So if you were to refer to the administration, I think we could probably have a slightly more in-depth conversation. From what I understand right now, the review has been basically on the plans. And so I think to have a better sense of what the actual real-world conditions are in this particular parcel and whether or not, there's any interest in conveying it with an easement given back to the city and maybe your right to pass and repass or something like that. There's a number of ways to possibly do this. We could at least have the conversation.
Okay. Well, that sounds fair
Yeah.
to you guys, you ladies.
Yes.
So, Counsel Pereira?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with sending it to administration for them to take a look at it, but right here in the beginning, I could not find any definitive results that said it was owned by the Water and Sewer Department. But all of a sudden at the end, oh, now we need that for water quality and this and that. Our water department tends to want to buy any piece of land that's around. They don't want the city to sell it. They want to keep everything. But then now there's a stream under it. Well, how do you know that there's a stream under it? Did you check that there's a stream under it? You're telling me there's no water on it.
No water runs through our
Right, but
property.
not
Yeah.
that piece that you
Yeah.
want. So I think if the administration looks at it, I think you need to say, what are the dimensions of the piece
Yeah.
that you're looking to keep?
Yeah, this,
And I would,
100 by 20,
yeah,
what
like,
is it?
100 feet long by like 20 feet in.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I think that's important for them to know, 100 by 20. Because the rest of it will still be there, the road will still be there, and they'll still
yeah.
have drainage in the water. But the chairman is right in saying, 100 by 20 parcel, if you put that up for sale, anybody can come in and bid on it.
Yeah,
And sometimes people will come and bid because they want to plant a garden. And they don't have land, and they're going to plant a garden there.
yeah.
So
And, you?
I do.
Okay. So, again, I know Counsel Kadim has something to say, not to stifle what you ladies want to do, but there's going to be some additional costs that the city's not going to bear on your part for this.
Okay.
I don't know if it's required for an environmental impact study, I don't know. I'm just,
We-
an appraisal of
wanna
the
be able to, like,
property.
Clean it up, there's
so-
like, people throw trash over there, clean up the trash, keep the lawn cut,
No, in terms of if we have to do the request for proposals.
Mhm.
And if there's going to be conditions attached to that,
Oh, okay.
and you're going to have to fulfill the conditions of that request, if you're awarded, it's going to be in the request for proposals, that there's certain things that you have to do
Okay.
in order to acquire it.
Oh, okay. Like,
So it's not as simple as, Counsel Kadim does this more than I do in terms of being the city administrator for Seacon. But the way we frame the request for proposals, like if the city sells it, we don't want to incur any debt. Because we're not just going to give it up
Oh, yes.
with costs to the taxpayers of the city to take the necessary steps to sell you good and clear title as, well, Counsel Pereira stated that Mr. Furlong's not sure if it's within the purview of the water and sewer departments, but I think it's pretty clear that the city does own it,
Yeah.
okay? So, go ahead, anything to say? No? I yield, Counsel Kadim.
Mr. Aiken, just in terms of once we send it back to the administration, could you also just do a quick review to see whether or not, how the property was acquired, whether it was through tax title? Because as you know, if it's tax title, then we can go directly to the neighbors
Right.
and sell it to the neighbors. But if it's not tax title, then we would have to obviously go through the RFP process. So that would be helpful to know once you come back down with, I guess, a recommendation on the property or information.
Certainly.
All right, thank you.
Okay, Counsel Pereira?
The only issue that I have is that I know that these ladies brought something in October. I mean, the first letter came in October of '23, and now we're in May of '24. How long is it going to take the administration so they know either we're going to do something or we're not? How long is it going to take the administration? Because to me, it's unfair to have people waiting and waiting and waiting. So is 30 days enough time that we can bring it back to this committee? Or is that not good? Is it 60 days? I just hate to have, we just have things that come before us and then months and months and months go by. It's not fair to people.
Well, Counsel Pereira, just to remind you, Counsel Pelletier was the past chairman of this committee, and, you know, we know the health issues he had.
And
No,
that's
hold on a
fine.
second, hold
And
on.
that's fine.
Hold
But
on,
I'm
please.
at this committee now, and I'm saying, if we're going to do this, can we move this? That we're not waiting.
Yes.
Yes, things happen.
As
I
soon as
understand.
possible. Yeah, but Counsel Pereira, to my point, he was ailing, and so we're here now. I mean, so.
Could have been here in January too, Mr. Chairman. With that, I yield.
Anything else? Great deal of difficulty making a point to Counsel Pereira.
30 days? 30 days. Did you hear?
Yes, yes.
30 days.
Okay.
Motion to refer to the administration with the expectation that they
Response in 30 days.
return something back to the committee within 30 days.
So, okay. Just
Second that.
keep in touch, please.
Yes, thank you, I appreciate you hearing us.
Oh, pleasure, of course. Yeah,
Aye.
that's why we're
Thank
here.
you.
Thank you very much.
Nice to meet you.
Aye. All those in favor?
Motion, all in favor, aye, so
Aye.
voted.
Aye, aye, aye.
Aye, 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 yeah. Item number 5, request of authorization for mayor to transfer 3 parcels of vacant land held as tax possessions to the Watuppa Water Board, referred on 5/14/24.
Council Pereira?
No, I'm a no.
No one? What, on the
No.
prior
No.
item?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I started
You
that.
should tell me.
I just wanted her to tell us how she felt.
Okay, all right.
It's the water department.
Okay, so we're on 5. I already
Yes.
read that, obviously. So, Mr. Akins, please. I think the committee was, I'm sorry, the committee as a whole was, I know I was prepared to vote on this, but Counsel Pereira did want this to be vented a little bit, and we do have a letter, another letter from head of tax title, which is Mr. Attorney Thomas, yes. So, you may begin.
So I think, the letter goes a little bit into some of the history here and how the city came to take possession of the property. They are 3 landlocked parcels. They are not buildable, they are not accessible. They are part of what the water department is trying to do as a buffer, as a protective area around their assets. And so there's very little value or commercial opportunity otherwise than to allow the water department to include these in their real estate.
So it was taken through tax title, so the, I'll wait till they're done.
They were just looking to transfer it over to the water department.
Right, taken through tax title, they,
Tax title meaning that it was taken for back taxes.
Yep.
Attorney Thomas followed through with the procedure to do that, and now the city is paying $30,000 for these parcels to preserve it for perpetuity in the interest of the water supply.
that's correct. And there is, the fair market value of each parcel is about $10,000. So that's where the
10,
30,000.
10, 10, and any questions?
So, Mr. Chairman, just through you, so I guess the 30,000, the appraisal, so the 10,000 for each parcel, are we looking to have the water department pay the city $30,000? Or what was the
Right, for
purpose of the
taxes.
30,000?
So the 30,000, I believe, is to clear the tax liability. So,
So the water department's got to take their surplus and pay the city.
you know, I don't know for sure. That was my understanding, but I'd want to verify. So if you could let me get back to you on that. That's what I think is happening, but I just want to be certain.
Oh, we do have a
Well,
letter.
There's a letter from Mr.
You
Ferraro.
yield,
Yeah.
Counsel Kadim?
I guess before I do that, so I assume that, I don't know how much it was, the tax title was, the taken was, whether it was 30 or 50 or 40,000 or even 5,000, but I would assume that obviously there's a value in given the fact that it's an enterprise fund, that typically you would swap money and value for the land and
Correct.
cash value, so with that, I yield.
Counsel Pereira?
I'm good.
You sure?
The only concern that I have is that Mr. Aiken didn't have the answers. He's going to check and get back to us, right? Is that what you just said?
Yeah, and I apologize.
You check and find
I
out.
wasn't invited down for this piece.
You weren't, you
Nope.
just kind of showed up.
No, I stayed. I'm one of those guests that
Thank
sometimes
you.
never leaves. I'm glad to be here.
Well, thank you.
It's nice to
Then I would
spend some
make a
time with
motion
all
that
of
we
you.
table till we find out the answer to Council Kadim's question, and I agree with him. I have a question about that myself.
Okay. All right, so there's a motion to table, second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So voted?
Motion adjourned?
Motion
Second.
adjourned, second.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
In favor, opposed, so voted.